Hi, everybody. So, welcome to Frontline Football. I forgot this. I just want to say I was not given this probably either a couple of months or a couple of years ago. I don't know. Uh, I was not disclosed to vote anybody for any homecoming position. A random person who may have been affiliated to one of the candidates gave popcorn, but it's December, so I don't know if they can really get caught for that. But yeah, I just found this in my desk while I was searching around. So thank you, whoever gave me the popcorn, who is not affiliated with any homecoming candidate at all. But welcome to Frontline Football. I did vote for homecoming anyway. So, do you guys want to join a fantasy football league? Come join the Frontline Football Fantasy Football League. Click on the link in the description after the video. And if you want to sign up, sign up. We are going to create the biggest fantasy league ever. So don't on the amazing opportunity that will be coming in the next couple months. So sign up now and get your spot in the first league. So
Don't be AFK. Welcome, guys, to Frontline Football. We're going to start out with the Dallas Cowboys versus the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to hand this one off to Josh.
give me the Dallas Cowboys here because want a better team. I believe that they have less injuries on that, so they will win the game. So give me the Dallas Cowboys here, and I will hand this first matchup off to Zach.
I have the Cowboys also. This Saints team is not too good. And I think Kamara is not going to be back. If he's not, then it's going to be an even tougher time to beat Orland or at Dallas. So I think that Dallas has the win even without CD Lamb. Oh yeah.
I'm going to also have to go with Dallas here. Dallas on a minor skid. They're going to start to try to shake it off. The Saints haven't won a game since the Jameis Winston injury, so they've been struggling. Kamara's been on and off the field lately. We'll see if he can make it back. I don't think it will make a difference. They got slammed by Buffalo. I think with the Cowboys receivers getting a little healthier this week, maybe they'll get CD back. They'll be able to get the job here, go into the Superdome, and win.
All right. Our next matchup is the... Let me fill that out here. Is the Arizona Cardinals versus the Chicago Bears. I'll be taking this one. I have the Arizona Cardinals beating the Bears. This is kind of obvious. All right. Now, Arizona is away, but they just had their bye week. And playing at Soldier Field is like another home game. Not a lot of fans are cheering there, so it's going to make an easy experience. Also, the Bears, whoever they're starting, if it's Justin Fields, if it's Andy Dalton, heck, even Nick Foles, I feel like the Cardinals can beat whoever they bring out because we're going to have Kyler Murray back, hopefully, and DeAndre Hopkins will be, both of them will probably be back this week. Kyler Murray's injury was supposed to be 1 to 3 weeks, and it's been 3 weeks, so yeah, hopefully Kyler comes back. If he does, then the Cardinals will get the win, even without him. Colt McCoy can play a solid game that the Cardinals defense can help them get the win, like some Seahawks games and Niners games have been going. So yeah, Jack.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals here, mainly because bye week. Cliff gets to do his magic on the bye week. He gets Kyler and maybe D-Hop back this week. And I understand the Bears had this touching thing where they went into Detroit and they got the win to save Matt Nagy's job or whatever, but I'm going to tell you that's kind of dumb. They almost lost to the Lions. who were trying to lose the game, as they normally are. And overall, the Cardinals are just so much better as of right now. They win games with Colt McCoy. I'm pretty sure they can handle whatever the Bears throw at them. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I gotta go with the Arizona Cardinals here. I don't really think that there's another way I can put this, but the Arizona Cardinals are just a better team in every single way compared to the Chicago Bears, and I think that he didn't get fired last.
Oh shoot! All right. Our next matchup is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Atlanta Falcons. I'm gonna hand this one off to Jack.
I'm going to have to take the Bucs here. Now, I understand the Falcons did get a W last week. Congratulations, Cordell Patterson, for saving the day once again. But the Bucs also got a pretty impressive W and a come-behind win against the Colts, led by Leonard Fournette. This week, they think they could get AB back, and I think the weaponry is going to be too much for Atlanta. While Atlanta's in the hunt for the playoff spot, I think the Bucs are picking up momentum once again, and I think they're going to come in, sweep the Falcons, get the win. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I have the Buccaneers. This is a solid team, and like Jack said, they're gonna probably be getting AB back, and that weapons, like Jack said, are gonna be way too much for this Atlanta defense to handle with just AJ Terrell covering probably Mike Evans. So defense probably won't be able to stop the Bucs offense, and the Bucs defense will be able to stop Cordell Patterson most likely because they are second in the league for not anymore, but they used to be second in the league for rushing defense. So who knows? Atlanta could totally get the upset here, but I have the Buccaneers because I'm more confident on them. Josh?
Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. I have no faith in Atlanta at all. Whoever plays them, it's just basically a free win. So give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here.
All right, our next matchup is the Minnesota Vikings versus the Detroit Lions. And this one off to Josh.
I have for this matchup the Minnesota Vikings winning because have you not seen the Lions' record? They are 0-10-1. That is not a good record to be heading into Week 13 with. So the Vikings are 5-6. It won't be pretty, but the Vikings are going to win this.
You hand it off to.
Jack. Jack.
All right, cool.
I'm going to take the Vikings here. Now, them and Denver are a bit of my enemies because of their inconsistencies, but the Lions are just awful. This is the first game I've watched of them from like quarter 1 to quarter 4, and it was beautiful. It was like beautifully bad in a way. I don't trust the Lions like in the slightest. They lost their number one weapon in DeAndre Swift. And ultimately, Minnesota, there's a lot on the line here. The NFC is still wide open in the wild card spot, and I understand dropping that to the Niners stinks, but you got to bounce back, shake it off, go to Detroit, get a win, and push yourselves right back into the hunt. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I think Vikings also. Lions, well, they play kind of like the Jets do sometimes. Bad, inconsistent, but at least the Lions played with heart. When I watched sometimes the Jets play with Adam Gase, at least they didn't play with any heart. I saw a team that had a lot of heart but no talent, so yeah, mostly Rocky stories don't work out, and the Lions did not work out. So yeah. Our next matchup is the Minnesota Vikings versus the San Francisco 40. Oops, sorry about that. That was last week's matchup. This week is the San Francisco 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks. I'm so sorry about that. I have the Niners beating the Seahawks. The Seahawks was a weird game. Let's just say Monday night was very interesting, and the Seahawks are coming off of a shorter week than the Niners are. And the Seahawks did lose against the Washington football team, which was a very sad loss because they probably should have beat them. But right now, the Niners are looking a little bit better than the Seattle Seahawks. They are both not looking too impressive, especially with the Seahawks play. So yeah. Josh,
I have San Francisco 49ers winning here because, as much as I want to say the Seahawks, uh, Russell Wilson has been cooking the last couple weeks, so the kitchen was closed. He tried to throw it on Seahawks fans. This is a really big. Ran it on the 1 yard line again. And you lost because you didn't run it on the 1 line. Tragic. After aside, we will say that the San Francisco 49ers.
right, Jack.
All right, I'll go Niners. Mainly because Russ, no cooking anymore. Don't want to talk about that anymore. He struggled for most of the Washington game. He did get 2 touchdowns, but that was a different story. But ultimately, the Niners can just look at what Washington did Seattle and do the exact same thing. Stop Russ from cooking and run the ball up their throats a million times because they could not stop Antonio Gibson. So Elijah Mitchell, no Deebo Samuel to be the running back this week, which kind of stinks. But I still think the Niners are just going to spam run the ball the entire game and get the job done here.
All right, cool. Our next matchup is the New York Giants versus the Miami Dolphins. Jack.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins here. They're the second or third hottest team in football right now. They're like on a 4 or 5 game winning streak. They've been picking it up. Jalen Waddle's been doing some good stuff. The defense is what it was supposed to be. The Giants are also most likely without Daniel Jones. He's questionable, and they just signed Jake Fromm or someone from the Bills to their roster. So ultimately, probably no Daniel Jones. That's not confirmed yet, but that's the way that it's leaning right now. Stuff could change, but the Giants going down to Miami with probably Mike Glennon. I don't think it's going to end well. I see the Dolphins winning and continuing this hot streak to get back in the playoff hunt. What are your thoughts, Josh?
This will be a showcase of the immortals right here. We have Tua Tagovailoa Tank 4 Tua versus Mike. It is going to be a very fun matchup that the Dolphins will win because the Dolphins have been very hot of late. So, give me the Miami Dolphins beating the Giants. Zach?
The Dolphins. My theory is that the Dolphins are actually going to win games, and at the very end, they did this last year. They're probably going to do it again, and people are going to say how good Brian Flores was and how good Tua played in the very end. But like, really, it's basically that defense that is doing so well. Tua just needs to be a game manager right now. I know that Tua is now starting to take over games. I get that, but like, most of that defense that has really shown up these past weeks, especially against the Ravens, against a bunch of other teams that my brain is just forgetting. But my theory is that they're probably going to get 4 more wins, and then they're going to call it for the season. So, yeah, and then people are going to get mad because they're not in playoffs because there's probably going to be another 10-win team. So, that's my theory on that. So, yeah. This next matchup is really interesting because it's probably a tank bowl. It's the Philadelphia Eagles versus the New York Jets. Jack?
I have to go with the Eagles here. I pick against the Jets a lot on this show, but it's fine. The Eagles, they had a bad game against the Giants. There's no denying that, but the Jets, they did get a win. Good job, but it was against the Houston Texans, who aren't, like, significantly better than the Jets. They're kind of on the same tier. I think the Eagles do a bounce-back game. The Jets are still without Michael Carter, which is annoying, so I think that's going to create some trouble. And occasionally, the Jets' defense decides to not stop the run. Philadelphia still got a little hope left in them, and I don't think the Jets showed nearly enough to say that I'm going to give them the upset here. I'm going to stick with the Eagles here, and they're going to get back on track with a win. What are your thoughts, Zach?
And the Jets, I feel like now it's like pick is already kind of sealed with the Seahawks being bad because they like have 3 wins in total. Yeah, they're 3-8 right now. They could be 3-9 if that prediction comes right against the Niners. But I feel like the Jets don't really have to tank anymore for a high pick because the Seahawks are going to just do it for them. So they can start winning some games now and actually showing a little bit better. I mean, I know that they've been trying, but I believe that the Jets can beat the Eagles. Hopefully, Zach Wilson has a good game. The defense actually kind of shows up for a little bit of time. But yeah, Josh.
I will be going with the Philadelphia Eagles here because I believe the Eagles still do have a shot. It's small, but they still do have a shot at making playoffs. So I'm going to choose them. Hurts has been really good. Struggle last game, but he's going to have a bounce back this game, and the Eagles are.
Our next matchup is the Washington football team versus the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to hand this one off to Josh.
I'm going to have to go with the Washington football team, even though that the Raiders played a really good game. The football team is just a little bit better, and they're going to win. So I'm going to hand this one off to Zach for his.
The Washington football team beating the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are not looking as good. I know that they got that win against Dallas, but Dallas has not been looking as well as they should be. They're doing their usual early season. Is it, I forgot what it's called. It doesn't really matter. Oh, yeah, I forgot the name again. All right, cool. Implosion. There we go. And yeah. So Washington's starting to look a little better. They also need to keep up in this playoff race. If they get a win here, they'll be 6-6. So, and they'll beat their first AFC opponent, which is interesting. So yeah.
I'm going to go with the Raiders here. I'm very happy with the Raiders. They did very good on Thanksgiving. Now, part of me is still terrified that they're going to do what they like to do and melt down, which is definitely possible. But I think Josh Jacobs started to pick it up. Renfro had a pretty solid game. I don't know Darren Waller's status, but I think ultimately Washington kept it a little too close for comfort with Seattle. I don't think Vegas is going to give them an opportunity to get the lead here and make it a competitive game. I think Vegas is going to handle their business for once and, dare I say, not melt down this year. They're going to be in the hunt till the end, maybe.
All right, our next matchup is the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the LA Rams. Josh.
I have to go with the LA Rams here. They are finally going to get a win. I mean, it's against Jacksonville, but they're going to get a win. All that matters. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars here. Give me the Los Angeles Rams. They will have their bounce back week this week. And I will hand this one off to Jack for his thoughts.
I'm going with the Rams. Now, Rams, I understand it hasn't been what you've wanted it to be since Odell and Von Miller have gotten here. But that's okay, because you can take all your angers out on the Jaguars, who have been pretty much a disaster throughout the entire year. Besides that, I don't know where they actually got Miami. They beat Miami in London. Overall, the Rams, if you can't beat the Jaguars, just exit yourself from the playoffs. I think this is the chance for Stafford to do some stat padding for the MVP race and for them to get back on track finally. After 3 games of losing, this is the week to do it. Get back on track at home against Jacksonville. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I have the Rams winning. Now, if the Rams do lose to the Jags, basically the Cardinals have clinched. They've already clinched the division, but they can clinch it even more. So, if the Rams don't win, the Niners could be ahead of them in the NFC West. There's a lot on the line for the Rams right now, and the Jags don't really have too much on the line except for the glorious second pick in the draft, which usually becomes a bust in the league. So, hopefully, the Rams get a win. They have had a 3-game losing streak after getting Von Miller and OBJ. So hopefully they can get the win here. But if they can't get the win here, I think we say that Super Bowl chance that they have is gone. So next matchup is a really good one. It's going to be two last year's rookie quarterbacks in Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers versus Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to hand this one off to Jack.
I'm going to go with a bit of an upset here and pick the Chargers. The reason I picked the Chargers is because I feel that the Chargers are a little motivated this week. They kind of have their backs against the wall. Not completely, but they're technically last in their division by a tiebreaker, a three-way tie. The super competitive AFC West. The Bengals just came off a big win, and they're at home, so it's not going to be easy. But I think Herbert, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler are going to have an offensive explosion and get the job done to assert themselves right back in the AFC West hunt. Give me the Chargers in an upset. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I have to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. While I do believe the Chargers could upset here, maybe upset, they just haven't been consistent. The Bengals have at least been consistent in the last couple games, and that roster, I just can't go against it. So give me the Cincinnati Bengals here. Zach.
Gotta go with the LA Chargers. Like Jack said, this Chargers team is really fighting for to keep number one up in their division because the Chiefs are one win ahead of them, and if they win here, they almost probably won't make the 7th seed. How it's looking. So if the Chargers just play a little bit of a good football game, they could end up with the 6th seed, which is because then the Bengals will be 7th seed. There's a lot on the line for this Chargers team, and they need to keep up in this really tight AFC West competition, and same with the Chiefs and the Broncos and the Raiders. They all need to keep up in this division. So, yeah. All right, our next matchup is going to be the Indianapolis Colts versus the Houston Texans. Josh?
I have to go with the Indianapolis Colts here. They have been on a dominant stretch these last couple weeks, only losing by 7 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the last time the Texans got shut out by them. So I believe that something will be happening like that this game. And hey, fantasy owners, but Jonathan Taylor, he's going to be getting a lot of yards. Take that advice and get him into your games. I will be handing this one off to Jack for his thoughts.
I'm taking the Colts. I like Jonathan Taylor to run here, get a big bounce back game. They choked the lead to Tampa Bay, but that's okay. I think the Colts here are going to get the job done and stay in the AFC playoff hunt to start to pick up some momentum on offense and defense with the lead of Jonathan Taylor, and I think Michael Pittman is going to have a bounce back game since he's been a little quiet lately. But I'll take the Colts here. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I have the Indianapolis Colts. I think that this team has a lot of potential for the playoffs this year, especially with Taylor being their lead offensive player. So, yeah, give me the Colts. All right, our next matchup is the Baltimore Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a good rivalry matchup, and I'm going to hand this one off to Jack.
I'm taking the Ravens here. I understand that the Steelers have been struggling a lot. It's been very, very bad. They got humiliated by the Bengals in sweep for the first time in forever. We all predicted that, I think. But still, it was a little surprising that they got humiliated by the Bengals. I thought they'd win, but they weren't even competitive for the most part. I understand Lamar threw 4 picks. It was a struggle for Lamar, but ultimately, he's going to have a bounce-back game here, and he's going to help his team get the win with the help of the elite Ravens defense, and the Steelers are going to continue to be in this weird, sluggish slump. They haven't been the same since the Lions incident. Give me the Ravens. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I have the Baltimore Ravens beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. Only been a couple of years since the Ravens have swept the Steelers, so they can do it again. I think it was Lamar Jackson's MVP season they did it, so it's good to sweep an opponent, especially like the Steelers. So, yeah, I have the Ravens. Josh?
I have the Baltimore Ravens winning this. I don't trust the Steelers anymore. They're terrible as a franchise. I really wish that they could just trade Najee and let him win. And I really hope that if Najee does, he goes somewhere in free agency that'll actually win. Because I'm already starting to feel bad for him. Him and Justin Fields. Because both of them are good players. They're just on terrible teams. So give me the Baltimore Ravens here who actually have a chance of making the playoffs, unlike the Steelers.
All right, our next matchup is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Denver Broncos. I'm going to hand this one off to Josh.
You know what it is on Frontline Football. We're not choosing the Denver Broncos until they stop this inconsistency. So I am going to choose the Chiefs here. And I think it's because they're in a very tight division race. They need to make sure that they're always on top of their game, or else they may drop one and then someone else is leading the division. So I'm going to hand it to Zach for his.
I have the Chiefs, but it's not because of what Josh is saying. That is true. But there is a curse going around, and it's on a different YouTube channel. It's a pretty known channel. It's called That's Good Sports. He spun the wheel. He had the Broncos at 10. The wheel landed on 10, so they're cursed for this week. So I believe in that because cursed my team. It's cursed a couple teams already. And I just believe the Chiefs will win against the Broncos. Heck,
I'm going with the Chiefs here. I made a deal a couple weeks ago that I mention every single time we talk about the Broncos game. I promised unless they played one of the worst teams in the league, I would never pick them again. And I'm keeping this. Andy Reid, after a bye week, which is always a good thing, the Chiefs have finally found their identity once again. They're shaking off the rust. And I don't trust the Broncos. I don't care if they beat the Chargers. I don't care what they do. I will not pick them until they figure out the inconsistency. Like Josh said, I'm taking the Chiefs.
Yeah.
right. The last matchup of this week is the Buffalo Bills versus the New England Patriots. This is actually an interesting one because it's dealing with the NFC East, and they're both playoff contenders. And I'm gonna hand this one off to Jack.
I have to go with Buffalo here. Now, am I confident? Not at all, because I think New England is the better team. But I feel that Buffalo right now, their backs are against the wall. New England has the lead in the division. If they win here, they can truly solidify it and begin to get some distance. Not only getting the divisional game win over them, but now they'll be a game ahead. I don't think Buffalo can afford to do that. I think Buffalo is going to give it their all this Monday night. Ryan Dable's going to come up with a phenomenal game plan. I think in a fun, competitive game, Buffalo is going to get the much-needed win to keep the AFC East in their hands and out of New England's. What are your thoughts, Josh?
Give me the New England Patriots. As much as I want to go with Buffalo here in New England, I dominant these last couple weeks with Mac Jones and that amazing defense. I think that the Bills are going to have something to handle. While it will be close, I think that the Patriots will come out and become the first seed of the.
Okay, well that does it for our video today. If you liked it, you should like the video and
Zach,
like it. What?
you did say your take for Patriots Bills.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I have the Bills. Sorry. Yeah, I feel like this Bills team needs to keep up. Like Jack said, they need to keep up in this race, and they just need to beat the Patriots, and that seems simple enough. They have a rookie QB in that's looking really solid, but this defense, they just have to score on a little bit, which they've been having a problem scoring in a couple weeks. And some weeks they're like with the Jags and wherever their other four losses have come to. They've had a hard time scoring against them. I think one of them's against the Steelers, and then I don't really remember where the other two came from. But yeah, and also New England Patriots right now are not undefeated in their division matchups. They lost to the Dolphins, and I believe that the Bills are going to stay undefeated, and they're going to beat the Patriots. So yeah, now that does it for our video today. If you liked it, you should like it. If you dislike it, then tell us that we're wrong. Hit the dislike button and say in the comments, you guys should change this take. So yeah, and Jack, hit the plugs.
Instagram, Twitter, pointing the right way today, right there. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. As always, we hope you guys enjoy this episode of Predictions. We'll be back here next week for more. See you guys then.
And finally, don't forget to press that subscribe button. Well, there's my trash can. Put that into there. We always got to make sure to recycle on this channel. And we're going to be starting a new thing that we were going to be doing until this guy wins a Heisman. So this guy's name, he's a Kansas State running back. You may know him. His name is Deuce Vaughn. He's been really, really good. Probably going to be a first-round pick next year. But we are going to start this, and we are not hopping on the bandwagon. We are not stopping for anything. We are going to say Deuce Vaughn for Heisman. So hashtag Deuce for Heisman. And we are going to start this before anyone else does. So thank you for watching, and I'll let Jack get to cutting us off here.
All right, we'll see you guys back here next week